key issue really, the first major stumbling block is how to make hydrogen. In fact, conceptually, the ways of making hydrogen are very abundant. You can make hydrogen from coal and natural gas. Who knows who the largest hydrogen consumer in Canada is? I don't want Isaac people to know.
Shell Canada. Shell?
Shell Canada. The tar sands in general. Alberta. That's in fact the source, why they emit so much. They use natural gas, they reform natural gas to produce hydrogen, and that serves them to hydrogenate the tars and produce lighter oils. You can produce from the whole array of renewable energies, nuclear power, etc. Okay, so this is not the issue. The issue is really more in the realm of the efficiencies at which you can produce hydrogen, the costs, the efficiencies, the round-trip efficiencies, for example, for electrolysis right now are really quite bad if you take everything into account. The costs are also quite high, but can be competitive in certain markets. The storage issue is an issue, but there is storage solutions that currently work and can be functional and provide you with a car that has a 3 or 350 mile radius. And finally, perhaps the biggest issue is a distribution network. If you have 10 million fuel cell vehicles on the road, you need to have hydrogen available at local gas stations. In terms of fuel cell technology works currently very well and has been demonstrated. There's really not any big hurdles in terms of the technology. The biggest issue is really cost. Bringing costs down to compete with internal combustion engines is a very challenging issue. And then there is some issues associated with durability. So, in any case, even if we had the perfect fuel cells that were currently available so that you and I can buy cars paying a premium of say $2,000 for regular cars, it would take a very long time before we replace our whole fleet with fuel cell vehicles and before we can have a real impact in terms of CO2 emissions. So, in the best case scenario, this is a long-term solution. Okay, no matter what. So, what does the emerging energy system in 2057 look like? It will be a single, unified, integrated system where we would have chosen to use non-greenhouse gas emitting power generation at the source. We provide that to our residential sector. Then, when our stationary sector does not demand as much electricity, we're going to have extra electricity available. We can use that electricity to produce hydrogen so that it allows us to maximize the utilization of our infrastructure rather than always designed for peak demand, which is a big issue with utilities. We produce hydrogen. We can top it up with biomass or natural gas, and then we store that hydrogen, and when the demand in our residential sector exceeds what we can produce at the base load, we're going to bring that hydrogen on stream through fuel cells and produce electricity. That really integrates and makes the whole system much more effective. We can also, of course, use a lot of that hydrogen for transportation. And there are incredibly innovative concepts, such as if you look at the overall fleet of vehicles that we have on the road, a car is essentially a mobile power generation station if you use it correctly. And that's what you can do. When you drive your car home at 6 o'clock and the peak demand is too high on the system, you can actually plug your car into your house and top up the power production from the grid, from the electricity produced from your car. So these are the kinds of concepts that are